Hello students, welcome to English class. So last day we discussed the first part of the story, the snake and the mirror. There we saw that a homeopathic doctor was narrating a frightening situation to his friends. What was that? His encounter with a poisonous snake. Okay. So the details of the house he was living that time, details of the climate, and details of the time, all these things we discussed. And the last part we saw that a snake coiled around on his left arm. Up to that we have completed. So what happened to the doctor and how did he try to save himself? So all these things are mentioned in the next part of the story. Okay, so we have to come to that. So while the snake coiled around his arm, what was he doing? Or how did he react to it? That is mentioned in the next few paragraphs. So in the first sentence itself we can see that it wouldn't be correct to say merely that I sat there holding my breath. I was turned to stone. I was turned to stone. That shows that he was not at all moving. And we know why. More than fear, as a doctor, he knew very well that if he makes the slightest movement, he will be bitten by the snake. So he was not moving. So what did he do? He sat there like a stone, it is mentioned. So even though he was sitting without moving, his mind was very active. But my mind was very active because he was thinking, we have to assume he was thinking the means to escape from this frightening situation. So actually the door was opened even though it was darkness, but we know that the snake coiled, so he couldn't move and ran outside. So another expression used there to show that he was not at all moving, what was that? I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. I sat there like a stone image in the flesh. Even though he was a man of flesh and blood, he was sitting there like a stone image. That means without making even the slightest movement in order to escape from the snake. That's what we can say here. And the 13th paragraph says that while he was in such a difficult situation, he thought of God. He felt the presence of the creator of this world, that is God. I felt then the great presence of the creator of this world and this universe. God was there. So we know that in the case of all the human beings, while they feel that they are quite helpless, there is no one to help him, they will turn to God because we all believe that God can do anything, even the impossible things. So in the case of the doctor also, he thought of God. He felt the presence of the creator. He thought that God was there. It was a great relief for him to think that he was not alone. God was there watching everything. So what did he do? I tried in my imagination to write in bright letters outside my little heart the words of God. Simply we can think that he was thinking of God or he thought of God and he might have prayed God to save him from this danger. What's the danger? This snake, poisonous snake, coiled around his and now he was feeling a pain because we know that the snake was coiling and he was holding his hand without uh, moving, and he felt that the arm was beginning to be drained of all strength. He was losing all the strength. He cannot hold any longer. What could I do? So he couldn't take a decision how to escape, what to do now, and he was very sure that, see, if he makes the slightest movement, it is mentioned in the next sentence, at my slightest movement the snake would strike me. So death was very near to him. So death lurked 4 inches away. Why it is mentioned death lurked 4 inches away? Because the snake was only 4 inches away with the spread hood, it is mentioned. So if he makes a movement, he will be attacked, he will be bitten by the snake. Then he thought, okay, in case if the snake bites him, what should he do? What medicine he should take? Because he is a doctor, he knows what is the medicine for snake bite. But there was a problem. What was that? See, there were no medicines in the room. See the contradiction. He was a doctor. He knows which is the medicine to be used, but there was no medicine. So he thought himself a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. I was but a poor, foolish, and stupid doctor. Why does he say so? Only because of the reason that even though he was a doctor, even though he knew the medicine to be used, he had no stock of that medicine. That's why he thought himself as a stupid doctor, foolish doctor. Okay, I forgot my danger and smiled feebly at myself. That is because of the thought that he had no medicine. Okay, he was smiling feebly, thinking of his foolishness. Then that time there happened, see, something special or something surprising. What was that? See, the snake turned its head. It was just 4 inches away, and now it turned its head and looked into the mirror and saw its reflection. That's what the narrator feels. What does he feel? The snake saw its reflection in the mirror. So he says, see, the snake also was beauty conscious. While the snake happened to see the mirror, it wanted to have a look in the mirror and to see its appearance. We know that in the case of the doctor also, while he saw the mirror, he looked his appearance, and we saw that he took certain decisions and all these things. So in this context also, the snake, the narrator feels that the snake also was beauty conscious. See, I did not claim that it was the first snake that had ever looked into a mirror, but it was certain that the snake was looking into the mirror. Was it admiring its own beauty? Was it trying to make an important decision about growing a mustache or using eyeshadow and mascara or wearing a vermilion spot on its forehead? We know that in the case of the doctor, while he looked in the mirror, he had taken certain decisions. Which were the decisions? To keep a smiling face, to grow a thin mustache, etc., to make his appearance more attractive. So he thought that likewise the snake also was planning something to make its appearance better. That's why it was looking into the mirror. But he was not sure why the snake was looking into the mirror and all these things. And then, see, I didn't know anything for certain. The reason. What sex was the snake? Was it male or female? I will never know, for the snake unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap. So what happened? We know that it had coiled around. the doctor's arm. But now unwound, winding, coiling. Unwound is opposite of that. Unwound itself from my arm and slowly slithered into my lap, crawled slowly into his lap. Then what happened? From there, it crept into the table and moved towards the mirror. Perhaps it wanted to enjoy its reflection at closer quarters, to have a close look. That's what the narrator felt. And now the snake was on the table, and so far we know that the narrator was sitting like a stone image, an image cut in stone. That's what we have seen. But now there was a sudden change. What was that? I was no mere image cut in granite. I was suddenly a man of flesh and blood. Still holding my breath, I got up from the chair. I quietly went out through the door into the veranda. From there, I leapt into the yard and ran for all I was worth. So while the snake moved on to the table, what happened? The narrator quickly ran outside the room. Okay, so from a very frightening situation, he saved himself, or we can say he escaped from this poisonous snake. So then what happened? What all things? We know that all his friends were listening to him very anxiously, and now it was a relief for them also. That's why it is mentioned, each of us heaved a sigh of relief. All of us lit beadies. Somebody asked, "Doctor, is your wife very fat?" Because we know that in the beginning the doctor had told about his plan about his marriage. It was that to marry a lady doctor who was very fat. Somebody was thinking of these things. So they asked, "Is your wife very fat?" But the doctor says that no, she was not fat. God willed otherwise. That means God thought that this doctor should marry a thin lady. The opposite of that. My life companion is a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. And we know, while the doctor wanted to marry a fat lady, he told that if he does any mischief, he can escape from her by running. But now the girl whom he married was a thin, reedy person with the gift of a sprinter. Then different questions were there, whether the snake followed you and all these things. And we know that the doctor was, as it is mentioned, running for his life, so he didn't turn back, he didn't look, and he mentions that, see, I ran and ran till I reached a friend's house. He didn't even look back. He reached a friend's house, and what was the first thing he did after reaching there? Immediately I smeared oil all over myself and took a bath. That was the first thing he took. He applied oil. He smeared oil all over his body and took a bath. And it is mentioned, I changed into fresh clothes, and he slept there. Next morning, at about 8:30, I took my friend and one or two others to my room to move my things from there. So he came back to his room. Why did he come back? To take all his things from there. He decided not to stay there anymore, because we know that it was not a good room. In the beginning itself we saw that it was not electrified. Rats were there, and no facilities were there, and now there was snake also. So he decided not to stay there anymore. So he came back to carry his things. But what happened? See, but we found we had little to carry. There was nothing to carry. What happened? Some thief had removed most of my things. While the doctor went outside, some thieves entered there. They had stolen all the things which he had. But he says that they had left one thing. It was like an insult for the doctor. What was the thing left over there? The doctor said, my vest, the dirty one. He had a vest, it was dirty one. That was the only thing the thief left over there. The fellow had such a sense of cleanliness. The rascal could have taken it and used it after washing it with soap and water. Did you see the snake the next day, doctor? The doctor laughed. I have never seen it since. It was a snake which was taken with its own beauty. So while they asked whether they had seen the snake later, the doctor replied that he hadn't seen, but he is sure that it was a very beautiful snake, even though it caused him some fear, even though the doctor was a little afraid. He was thinking of the beauty of the snake. So that shows that the doctor also was living in harmony with nature. Even though it was a poisonous snake, he had no plan to kill it. The only thing he wanted was to save himself from the danger, from the bite of the snake. So this is the story of the snake and the mirror. So children, read it many times. It's a very simple story. As I told in the beginning, it is very simple, it is very interesting. But you have to read it many times and be familiar with all the ideas presented there, and also complete the side questions given there. Okay, so make sure that you write down the answers of the side questions in your notebook. Okay, so we'll see you next day. Until then, bye. Okay, thank you.